Okay, so today we have Rory Gallagher, want to get that right, and Bad Penny. This is a live performance from 1982. I usually go with studio versions, but people have said if you want to listen to Rory, you gotta listen to him live to really get him. So we're gonna get into this. I've heard a lot about Rory through the comments. I've heard another quote saying that the greatest guitarist you've never heard of is Rory Gallagher. So I'm quite intrigued. Let's get into it. Talk about it after. A little over 5 minutes long. Here we go. Bad Penny.
This one you might like. This one's called Bad Penny.
Oh my god.
Again!
Yeah, I guess. Thank you. I guess so. Holy fuck. Rory Gallagher and Bad Penny live 1982 from Rockpalast, I want to say. I guess I want to say at the get-go. Again, Rory Gallagher, he's been requested. I've heard his name. Again, people saying he's very underrated. Guys like Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton have said that he was an influence on them. And again, it's a guy that is a great guitarist, but is kind of forgotten. That all comes to mind. And coming into this again, I'm thinking about Rory, I'm thinking about his guitar playing, but Rory and his guitar playing and his lyrics though too here. Again, I don't know, I just felt like I was going to pay more attention to the guitar and all that stuff. I wasn't thinking about the rest of the band. And one more time, I wasn't thinking about how his lyrics were going to be a little bit humorous in a way, or just profound as well, and very thought-provoking, because there were lines in there that made me chuckle, like a Bad Penny, you've sure lost your shine. I don't know, just the way he would say the lines, delivered those lines with a lot of swagger and a lot of, I guess, again, humor in a way, and just how kind of angry he was in those lines too. So yeah, I was just paying more attention to the guitar coming into it, and then I found out, oh, this whole band is a bundle of fun, a bundle of joy, my goodness gracious, to listen to. So to get off, I guess to talk about Rory off the bat here, just rip-roaring chords. I just loved how he would fill even empty space with just those open chords, and just how aggressive he was. Obviously, this is very blues rock. It's very aggressive blues rock, very fiery, frantic, energetic blues rock. The way that he would just lose himself in a guitar solo, like, I don't know, I think maybe around the 2-minute mark, whatever it was there. Just his face and just how the guitar seemed to have possessed him at that point. And the camera just cut away right before he like went into some kind of a position, another position anyway. And but again, his face, you could just tell how into it he was, how in the zone he was, how locked in, as the kids say these days, he was with his guitar. It was just a sight to behold, I guess is the way to say it. He lost himself, and then you lose yourself watching him play. And again, I'm glad I watched the video here, because watching him do this was just a lot of fun. And again, it did give me a better, I guess, a better example of what Rory looked like, of course, but a better example of what he was like live, and how he played to a crowd. And right off the get-go, too, when he starts up the guitar, and you had that kind of chicka sound, the only way I could describe it, something like Jimi Hendrix would do. And I did mention there and how Hendrix was a fan of him as well. And anyway, so that started up there, and then the slide, and I know that he, from reading up on him, I know that he utilized the slide guitar a lot, too. But just again, I can't say it enough, but a gritty, aggressive slide guitar way. And anyway, so I just love how he started it up like we're really starting up the song here, like he's starting up a car or something. The way he starts off with his guitar, and you could just tell him looking around at the rest of his bandmates there, just looking around, seeing, are we ready? And then he starts walking all across the stage. I don't know, just the look of him. He's wearing like a jacket or whatever. He doesn't look like, at least to me, he doesn't look like your stereotypical rock star, I guess. He's got the long hair and everything, but the way he controlled that audience, you're like, my God, this guy is so good. And anyway, I just love how effortlessly cool he was. He didn't have to look like your stereotypical, again, 80s or 70s rock star. And he also, from what I saw, has been called Ireland's first rock star, I want to say too. So it all just works out so well. And I guess at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is he just looks like an ordinary guy. But at the same time, you put a guitar in his hands. And he's not very ordinary. Moving on to his voice. From when he started off, I think he said, like, this is one you might like, this is Bad Penny, something like that. And I said, that voice already. And it just sounds so dumb to say, but just the way he was talking, he already had a gritty, rough voice. And I was like, we're going to get into it here. And I imagine his voice is going to be pretty gritty itself when he's singing. And it was. It almost reminded me of, like, Joe Cocker. Maybe not as much growl as Joe Cocker in a way, but it's just a weathered voice. And I think he was born in 1948. This is 82, so he's like 34 here. But his voice, he sounds like he's 50-something, and that's not in a bad way. It just, again, I love that weathered tone, a voice that sounds like he's been through the muck, and he made it out. And then, again, the lyrics here fit that very well, when talking about how he got I don't know if it's real or if he was in a bad relationship, whatever it was. But, again, the lyrics are talking about getting out of a toxic relationship in a way and moving on and starting to heal. So his voice just fits those words so well. As my nose is itchy, I had to pause for a second. I didn't even notice the sun's coming up. It is 6 a.m. as I do this. But anyway, not only was Rory aggressive, but the rest of his band was aggressive too. I gotta say it again. I wasn't really paying attention to the rest of the band coming into this until it started, and I was like, hold the phone. Jerry McAvoy is about as crazy as fucking Rory is on his instrument. Jerry with his smooth, fluid, I want to say, just that continuous thudding sound he was creating. I did not expect to have a bass solo in here either. His facial expressions, his, the O's and the way his mouth is moving. I don't know if drugs were involved. I don't know, but he just, maybe not, but just the way he was going and just how into it he was as well. The whole band as a unit were into it. It was just such a sight to behold again. And he had like the pink Hawaiian shirt on, I think. Again, just effortlessly cool. These guys, if you saw them walking down the street, maybe you know who they were if you're fans, but other than that, it's just they look like ordinary people. But you put a bass, you put a guitar in their hands, whatever, you're like, Jesus Christ, I gotta step back for a second. It was just something to watch. And again, I love the bass solo in there. Didn't expect that. And then you get the bass solo, and then here comes Rory again with his picking, and it's just, oh my God, it's orgasmic. What can I say? Then you got Brendan O'Neill here, who was so powerful. Everyone was powerful, but Brendan O'Neill was so powerful. He was hard hitting. His hair, his look, he almost reminded me just from the side of him. I don't know when it started off. Almost looked like Ronnie Wood to me for some reason. I don't know why that came to mind, but I don't think he actually did. But, and he had a lot of swagger in his facial expressions too. Again, just from the side of him when the camera would go to that, angle. And, just, I don't know, the way he was doing things, and it sounds so dumb to say, but the way he was doing things with his mouth and stuff too, the faces he was making, it looked like he knew that they were a great tight band, and for good reason. I mean, he was fucking right. But, and then I want to move on to John Cook here, who was their keyboardist, here at this time anyway. And John Cook, what I love about it is the rest of the band. I mean, again, Jerry has that kind of hair, like that Leslie West almost hair looking, thing going on. And the rest of them are, Rory's got the long hair, and, Brendan's got the long hair kind of too. And then you got John Cook, who looks kind of clean cut compared to everyone else. And that's just what I love about a keyboardist. I think about a guy like Ray Manzarek. That guy, that comes on where they also look very effortlessly cool, and they're usually, not maybe all the time, but they're just a little bit more clean cut, sometimes, from, the keyboardists I've seen in different bands. And, but still, he had such a bright keyboard, sound here. I just love how melodic he was, how he played well so long with the rest of the dynamic that the band was. And, anyway, so I just love that whole dynamic between John kind of looking a little bit different than the rest of them, but they all, still fit in so well together. So there you go there. Just to get all that across off the bat. And, yeah, that was my first listen again to Rory Gallagher and the whole band. And, it's just, I can't get over it, but it was just so fiery. It was just so punchy. It was just balls to the wall, And, anyway, just what an aggressive style Rory had there. And, it just, I don't know if I've heard a person, maybe I have, and maybe this is just, it's my first listen, so what the hell, but I don't know if I've seen a guy make a guitar talk the way that Rory did here. That was just nuts. And we move into these lyrics here with, well, like a bad penny, you've turned up again. And I can't replicate how he sounded, but I love the way he would shout the word you, like a bad penny, you have showed up again. It's like, holy fuck. You're in my sights. There's a mist on my lens. Oh, I just love the detail right off the bat. I think you know how it was when I tripped and fell. And it seemed like this person he's talking about liked when Rory, in this case, tripped and fell. Well, you double dealed me, baby, and I broke like a shell. Hey. And not only does the music sound like a throwback. I know the song came out in, I believe, 79, but it seems like it would even fit in the 60s, and I do believe Rory was around back then too. But anyway, there's just an old kind of, psychedelic almost feeling to it, and the lyrics have that too, just the way they talk about, you double dealed me, baby. There's like an old feel to the lyrics even. Anyway, and I broke like a shell, and I'm sure the person was happy about that too. Like a bad penny, you sure lost the glow. And I think that line made me laugh during the song. I don't know why, but again, he's just going in on this person and how unwanted they are in his life at this point. But I'm out of reach. Your smile's sure gone cold. Now that Rory is out of reach here, or the narrator, whatever you want to say, the smile's gone off this person because they know they can't manipulate him anymore. That comes to mind. Well, it can't ever be like it was then. Again, Rory is healed. He's different now. Well, don't you fool me, baby. Don't fool me again. My goodness gracious. Yeah, you mess with my plans. My plans to get away from you, really, at the end of the day. And then, some stormy nights, your memory haunts me. You won't go away. Again, like any kind of old relationship or past relationship, this person still comes to your mind, even if you don't want them to. But again, I love how he compares that to a stormy night. right. Just showing again how much he hates this person, and he does not want them to come back into his life at all. And then we go on, well, like a bad penny, you have turned up in the change. And I love that you've turned up in the change of me trying to change my life, but also in the change of being around other, a penny is in with change and a change person or whatever. I just love the double meanings there, I guess you could say. Try to fit into the picture, you can't get inside the frame. Oh my God, these lines, I don't know, I just love how they fall into each other so well. And like I said, the lyrics here are pretty freaking profound. I think I'm still sore. I can kind of still be manipulated in some way, but I'm on the mend. Times sure have changed. It won't happen again. He's very true to himself in that way, and saying that this won't happen again. He seems to be a very what the fuck's the word I want to think of? Anyway, he's set out and he knows that this old relationship will never happen again. Well, like a bad penny spins around and around. Well, you won't know what's gone wrong when it all falls down. You got to learn from now on to stop playing games. He's done with their games, like I've kind of mentioned earlier. He's not going to be manipulated again. Won't be fooled again either, to take a line from The Who. You ought to keep on moving. You got to spin. You're on your way. And I love that, moving, the spinning that keeps coming back into the lyrics here, and just showing that, I don't want you around. Can't you tell? Good Lord, you're unwanted. Get the fuck away from me. Some lonely nights I hear you calling. Won't you go away? I just love how he breaks down into those lines again, as he did earlier, talking about thunderstorms, and now this time saying, on some lonely nights I hear you calling, won't you go away? But again, he's not going to let them in. Well, like a bad penny, I've turned up again. You're in my sights. There's a mist on my lens. I think you know how it was when I tripped and fell. Will you double deal me, baby? I cracked like a shell. And there you go there. And it's a defiant. There's the word I want to talk about there. It's a defiant call to arms there, or just a defiant song either way, lyrically especially, and how he's done with this person's shit. And he's moving on and he's healing. And like I said, the powerful guitar tone here just fit that so well. His voice fit that so well. And like I said, how weathered it sounded, and how weathered he sounded in these lyrics too. And how over this person he is. And it doesn't feel like he's faking it either. You have some songs where the narrator on purpose is kind of showing that, well, if you come back into my life, maybe things could be better. But here it just seems like Rory is just fine with not knowing this person again. Although there are some nights where they come to mind, and he doesn't like that when that happens, but either way, he's going to stay strong and continue to be on the mend. So there you go there. I guess that's all I got to say. So what a great listen here. What a great time to come to Rory Gallagher. I almost wanted to say, Liam Gallagher or something. But anyway, no, it's Rory Gallagher. And just finally got to him here, and I'm glad it did, because this was quite a fun experience, which just sounds so dull to say. But again, from Rory, Jerry, Brendan, and John, I just love the look of them. I just love to watch them be so proficient at their crafts here, and it was just very enjoyable. It was a very enjoyable watch. Not only was the music and lyrics and all, like I said, very captivating, but just watching them play was just so good. So anyway, I guess that's all I'm gonna say. So thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting. I gotta go to bed at some point here. Like I said, now it's 6:20 a.m. So what the hell? But anyway, I'll talk to you guys again soon.